did attempt a modest corrective bounce in overnight activity. The path of least resistance is pointed lower, and follow-through selling on yesterday's sharp losses weighed on prices. Poor export demand amid the ongoing trade dispute between the U.S. and China and the advancing Midwestern harvest contributed to the declines. Mounting tensions between the U.S. and Saudi Arabia also kept some caution in the commodity markets. Corn futures there also pressured by the good U.S. harvest weather and poor export demand, with the December corn contract down 3 cents at $3.68 per bushel. A move below the 100-day moving average in the December contract was also bearish from a chart standpoint, and that brought in more speculative selling. Wheat futures, meanwhile, are higher, seeing a correction after recent declines earlier this week. December wheat in Chicago is up 4 cents at $5.17 per bushel. Kansas City December wheat up 3 cents at $5.18 per bushel. And Minneapolis spring wheat 4 cents higher in December at $5.89 per bushel. While wheat futures were due for a bounce from a chart standpoint, reports of improving harvest weather in Western Canada were a bit bearish for the U.S. futures, while Australian wheat crops received some much-needed rain. Ample world supplies and only a routine demand for U.S. wheat also kept prices range-bound. That's a look at the ICE futures and U.S. markets for Friday morning, October 19th. In Winnipeg for Markets Farm, I'm Phil Franz Workington.
This year's Value Bonanza sales event at Butler Farm Equipment in Fort St. John gives you more choices and more savings. Choose 0% financing, cash back, and more on select New Holland tractors, hay and forage products, and materials handling equipment. These Value Bonanza offers end October 31st, so make the trip to Butler Farm Equipment in Fort St. John today. For commercial use only, customer participation subject to credit qualification and CNH Industrial Capital Canada Limited approval. Standard terms, conditions, and other restrictions apply. Down payment may be required.
The opinions expressed during this show do not represent those of this station. If you've missed any of this show, you can follow the podcast at energeticcity.ca. Now, an in-depth look at the news and information shaping our community. This is Trev Talks with your host, Trevor Boland.
Good morning. My name is Chris Newton, your guest host for Trev Talks this week. This is actually the final week I will be the guest host for Trev Talks, as your regular host will be returning next week. That's because, of course, the municipal election is happening tomorrow here in Fort St. John and indeed across all of British Columbia. And your regular host is a candidate in that, so that's why I've been taking the reins for the last month or so. But that is, of course, the topic of today's show. Normally we'd have, one or two guests to talk about issues that are facing the Peace region, as we did in weeks prior. This week, it's all about all 12 candidates. We got 12 guests on the show this week. They are the 12 candidates vying for a seat on Fort St. John City Council. 6 of those seats are up for grabs. 6 of the candidates are incumbents. So, who would you like to vote for? This is what we're going to help you decide on that. Now, of course, if you need to know where to vote, that's probably the first thing we should do. In Fort St. John, of course, there's been 2 advanced voting days. Voting turnout is actually looking pretty darn good. We're at 1,227 advanced votes, which is more than double what it was in 2014. 570 advanced polls in Fort St. John. The last municipal election this year. You can vote on General Voting Day in Fort St. John. The polls are going to be open at the Fort St. John Legion from 8 a.m. until 8 p.m. If you're a resident or a property owner, bring 2 pieces of ID with you in order to register at the polling station in order to vote. As for School District 60, if you want to vote for your School District 60 candidates, residents of Fort St. John will be voting for Zone 5, which is represents Fort St. John at the same time that they vote for council candidates. In zone other polls, the rural poll for Zone 5, they're going to be having a polling station open. That's of course residents of Upper Halfway, the Halfway River First Nation, 101 West, Charlie Lake, Pink Mountain, and north of the 225 of mile 225 on the Alaska Highway. That poll is open at the Charlie Lake Elementary School from 8 a.m. until 8 p.m. For Zone 2 residents, your polling station is at at Upper Pine School. That's residents of Presbyterian, Buick, Rose Prairie, the Doig River First Nation, Blueberry River First Nation, North Pine, Montney, and 101 East. Again, Upper Pine School, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Residents of Cecil Lake, Goodloe, and Clayhurst, you will poll at the Cecil Lake Community Hall. Finally, residents of Taylor in the District of Taylor, polling stations open tomorrow from 8 a.m. till 8 p.m. at the Taylor Community Hall. And without further ado, we are going to be going through all 12 candidates, starting alphabetically. So without further ado, here we are, our first candidate for Fort St. John's City Council, Trevor Bolin.
Trevor Bolin, and I am running for Fort St. John City Council this October 20th, and I'm looking for your vote. A lot of people ask me, it's been 10 years, you've been on council for a long time, why should we re-elect you, or why should we Today, they're rated just below 5%, so we've cut them in half. Fair share, we had as much as 10 and 15% of millions of dollars, $17 million going towards operations. We've now earmarked that for capital so that we can do more roads and do more infrastructure and build more public facilities for people, all at the same time ensuring that our operations were good and that our tax rate stayed affordable for people, especially during downtimes like we've just gotten out of. So why me? I want to continue what we've done. We've paved 56 kilometers of roads in the last 10 years. So, you see one road be redone, you see a second road redone. When you look at it as what's been done in the last decade, I think it's been huge. And I think, for those people that have lived here for a long time, just seeing what the city's like now, I think they'll agree with me. And those that are moving to the community, we want to offer something more than we have in the past. And we want to ensure that we can attract people. We want to attract doctors and nurses and teachers and oil field workers, and I mean LNG is going to bring in a whole new wave of people in its own. So I am here. I am asking you humbly to vote for me this October 20th and re-elect me for City Council so that we can continue our present into the future and make sure that Fort St. John is the absolute best place that it can possibly be. Thanks.
Fort St. John is one of the best managed, fiscally sound communities in British Columbia. We've done a pretty good job educating the province and others on energy literacy, but more needs to be done. We've worked well with School District 60 in obtaining 2 new schools, but we need more. We have worked hard to create an environment that would attract business and professionals. We have started community meetings with our First Nations communities and must continue to improve these relationships. We need to continue to work on our infrastructure, our roads, our sidewalks, trails and streetlights to make this a safe and accessible community. I want Fort St. John to be the most diverse community in Canada, one that respects our cultural diversity. We need to balance our cultural, environmental, our social and economic opportunities. We can be a home for all and the place where you and I want to raise our families. On October the 20th, please consider Bruce Christensen.
Hello, my name is Larry Evans. I'm running for re-election on Fort St. John City Council. I'd like to thank my family for their support in this endeavor and Moose FM for allowing me to speak to you. I've lived in Fort St. John all the life I can remember, and I've seen it grow from a village to the vibrant and energetic city that you see today. We are lucky to have 3 major industries in Fort St. John: oil and gas, forestry, and farming, which I support all 3 of. These are what make Fort St. John the energetic city and bring prosperity. My wife, Joni, and I have raised 3 wonderful children in Fort St. John, and now we have grandchildren growing up in Fort St. John. I want them to grow up in a city that they are proud to call home. Over the years, I've been involved in many organizations and events like the BC Winter Games, the Northern BC Winter Games, Child Development Center, BC Festival of the Arts, the Sunrise Rotary Club, North Peace Historical Society, of course, Rendezvous 92 Committee, different air shows, and Parade Marshal for Canada Day and Santa Claus parades, just to name a few. All the experience I've gained, I believe, helps me to be a good councillor and a great ambassador for the city of Fort St. John. The most important thing to me is to ensure that the City of Fort St. John progresses in a way that benefits all residents, young and old. During my 31 years with the Fort St. John Fire Department, my main concern was, as it is now, for the citizens and businesses of Fort St. John. I treat all people with respect, and I strive to be fair in decisions, all decisions that come before council. There are 6 other people on council, so we all have to work together. I only make one promise, and that is that I will give 100% to this job as councillor. So, on October the 20th, vote Larry Evans, please.
Hi, I'm Chuck Fowler, and I'm looking for your vote on October 20th. I'm 36 years old and lived in Fort St. John all my life. I got 2 beautiful daughters and a beautiful wife, and I'm part of the community with being on the board of directors for the Child Development Center and the Fort St. John Chamber of Commerce. I'm also one of the original members for FSG for LNG. I believe council needs a fresh perspective and some fresh ideas. The average age in Fort St. John is 30.6 years, and the biggest economic driver in Fort St. John is the oil and gas industry. I think we need someone representing that demographic and those industries, looking through the lens of industry, looking through the lens of young families, and looking through the lens of young working professionals. I hope you consider voting for me on October 20th. My name is Chuck Fowler. Thank you.
So there we have it. That is our first. That was our first 4 of 12 candidates. And stay tuned after the break. We're going to have your next group of 4 candidates as we list all 12 off in alphabetical order here on Trev Talks on Moose FM.
Oh, nice. You got your iPhone screen fixed.
Yeah, I got it fixed last week.
Oh, I didn't even know you were without it.
I wasn't. I went to Micro Consulting and they fixed it in 15 minutes.
Seriously?
Yeah, go there and you'll be without your precious iPhone for 15 minutes. Can Scrabble wait that long?
Haha, hilarious. But I don't play Scrabble. It's Candy Crush.
At Micro Consulting Sales and Service, they specialize in iPhone screen repairs. All repairs include a 6-month warranty, the best pricing, and a 15-minute turnaround. Micro Consulting Sales and Service, keeping you connected on 100th Street and on Facebook.
Heading to the latest and greatest events around the energetic city, Moose FM is live on location.
Hey, it's Sydney Reed, and I am indeed live on location at the 91st Avenue Card Lock and C-Store for the Fort St. John Co-op. It's Co-op Week, and they want to thank you for being amazing customers over the past year, and especially through their renovation process. I'm at their new, beautifully done location. It is so nice in here, so bright. It doesn't feel like your regular Co-op gas station or gas station in general. It is amazing in here. I definitely recommend you come down, check it out if you haven't already. And today is the perfect day to do it. Not only do I have a bunch of giveaways for you, they've got free coffee and donuts and some great savings on sale this week. There is washer fluid on sale for $1.99 a jug, and let's be honest, that white stuff, it's around the corner. It's going to be here anytime. The roads are going to get muddier soon. And stocking up on windshield washer fluid, it's just common sense. So stop by today, come say hello to me. If you come by in the next few minutes and say, hey, I heard you on air, I have a free propane cylinder refill for you, valued up to £30, so come on by. It's Sydney Reed live on location at Co-op at the 91st Ave Card Lock and C-Store location.
Get your requests on now for the Wendy's Noon Hour Takeover. Now serving 2 locations in Fort St. John and Dawson Creek. Text us at 250-800-2360.
Wendy's fresh beef patty, applewood smoked bacon, portobello mushrooms, and cheddar cheese sauce on a toasted bun. It's the bacon portobello mushroom melt, and it's only at Wendy's.
The Noon Hour Takeover, brought to you by Wendy's.
Be the first to come and the last to leave.
I was born in a small town.
John Mellencamp, Sad Clowns and Hillbillies Tour. Saturday, November 3rd in Canna Event Center. Reserved seat tickets are on sale now at tigerboxofficeplus.ca. Show begins promptly at 8 p.m. Ladies and gentlemen, from Bloomington, Indiana, John Mellencamp.
Oh, can't believe this winter, eh? Oh, I know. The snowdrifts are taller than my car. Almost need a moose to ride to work, man. Hey, there's one now.
Find your toques and snow brush. The Backcountry Community Cruiser is going to be at events all winter long. Bundle up and join Moose FM at the best local events in the Peace Region. Fundraisers, concerts, festivals, and more.
What about hockey at the ODR?
We can be there too. If you've got an event coming up, let us know so we can show up and join the party. Email cruiser@moosefm.ca. The Backcountry Community Cruiser, your guide to excitement throughout the Peace, is brought to you in part by Totem Mall, Micro Consulting Sales and Services, and Moose FM.
Connect with hundreds of businesses in the oil and gas industry at the Peace Region Petroleum Show, happening in May in Evergreen Park, Grand Prairie. Secure your booth now to showcase your company to thousands of visitors and create opportunities through networking, show guide advertising, sponsorship, and golf. The 2019 Peace Region Petroleum Show, presented by the Grand Prairie District Chamber of Commerce and the Grand Prairie Petroleum Association. For more information, visit prpshow.com.
Whether you need to purchase a new safe or have your current one fixed, System Secure takes care of all things related to safes. They do sales, repairs, maintenance, and can even open your safe for you. System Secure in Fort St. John and at systemsecurelocksmith.ca.
Join Moose FM on location at the Fort St. John Co-op on 91st Street from 10 a.m. until noon today to celebrate Co-op Week. Save on Sonic -40 window washer for just $1.99, regular $3.99, limited of 4. Plus Sonic -45 de-icer is on for $2.99, regular $4.99, limit of 4 per person. All these great savings and more. While you're stocking up today, enjoy a free coffee and donut on the house. Listen to Moose FM Live for free giveaways from 10 a.m. until noon. The management and staff would like to take this time and thank you for your patronage and look forward to serving you. You're at home here.
Watch this show live on Facebook or download the podcast at energeticcity.ca. This is Trev Talks with Trevor Bolin.
Welcome back to Trev Talks. I'm your guest host, Chris Newton, and this week it's all about the 12 candidates in this year's Fort St. John municipal election for, as I said, council. We're going to have hear from 4 more candidates, starting off with Becky Grimsrud.
As someone who works in industrial Fort St. John, boots to the ground, I understand the frustrations of the average resident. We need our roads well maintained, our services reliable, our taxes low, and to quickly and easily understand what's going on within our community. I don't want to cut services. I want to avoid major cost overruns and excessive spending. Let's take a hard look at our bidding process and make it fair for local companies to put in an accurate bid without being undercut by another company only to have those costs multiply. Once we've got our spending under control, let's look at what we can do to improve what we already have. Fix the roads, improve our services, and cut costs if possible to the average homeowner and business owner. And finally, what can we do to make everything the city does more accessible to the average person? You've probably heard many of these messages already from all the candidates, but in the end, who do you think has the tenacity and determination to stick up for your best interests? This is my 3rd time running, so you can see I'm not about to just give up because something is difficult. I'm not here to sit back and agree with everything the rest of council says. I'm here to ask the hard questions and fight for what is important to you. I'm on several boards and I'm involved in the arts, recreation, and seniors housing. But I also have my boots to the ground and understand many of these projects, what's going on for the average worker. It's different at the ground level than it is looking at industry in an abstract way through an office building. And it gives me some much needed perspective to contribute. With that being said, I understand the work that's gone into our community, but there's value in conflict. If we have no conflict, we have no discussion, and we have no improvements. So this year, let's shake things up a bit and get the discussion going. On October 20th, I hope you'll consider me to represent you on council. Thank you.
I'm Lilia Hansen and seeking re-election to City Council. I've experience working with businesses and nonprofit groups. I offer a fresh perspective, believe in the need to consultate, and do not hesitate to ask questions. I'm the Executive Director of the Fort St. John and District Chamber of Commerce, going on 5 years, where I proudly promote and advocate for my community at all levels of government. I'm Love Fort St. John's community champion, promoting independent businesses, working with Northern Development Initiative Trust and the City of Fort St. John to deliver this program. I am also a board member of Community Futures, attend Resource Municipalities Coalition meetings, and not-for-profit group monthly meetings. I'm passionate about my community and belong to the Sunrise Rotary Club, and have volunteered with many nonprofit organizations in the past, including the Salvation Army. Previously, I worked for the Ministry of Environment for 12 years and ended my tenure as the Peace Region's Admin Support Section Head. I had the pleasure of serving Conservation Officer Service, BC Parks, Wildlife and Fisheries, and Environmental Protection. My personal business background includes owning an oil field service company with my husband Ron, real estate investment, and property management. I will advocate for building a strong community, encourage economic development, and increased post-secondary learning opportunities within our community. My vast network, both locally and provincially, will open doors and accelerate conversations that will focus on the betterment of our community. I'm committed to Fort St. John and working hard to represent you on council. I ask for your vote on October the 20th.
Hi, please let me introduce myself. My name is Gábor Harris. I was born in Hungary, but in 1987 I moved to Italy, where I lived until immigrating to Canada, more precisely to Vancouver in 1992. In Vancouver, I held many different types of jobs, from washing dishes to working in a factory to managing construction crews. During my 25 years in Vancouver, I earned an advanced diploma in management and a Bachelor of Business Administration degree. In my third year at university, I was hired part-time to the Vancouver head office of an Alberta-based pipeline company. A year later, as soon as I earned my degree, I was offered a full-time position at the same company as a project manager. Although I have only been living in Fort St. John for 1 year, I decided to run at this municipal election because I believe that I can bring new, fresh ideas to help the growth of this great community. Thank you.
All right, that was the 8 out of 12. Coming back after the break, we will have the final 4 candidates for Fort St. John City Council. Stay tuned to Trev Talks.
If you're looking for a challenging work environment that is also rewarding, consider a career with Grimes Well Servicing. Grimes is currently looking for drillers, derrick hands, and floor hands. They offer on-the-job training, and all applicants must be able to pass a pre-employment drug and alcohol screening. If you consider yourself someone with integrity and strong work ethics, Grimes would love for you to join their team. Drop your resume off today at Grimes Well Servicing on 93rd Street or contact their office for more info. 250-787-9264. Grimes Well Servicing. Great rigs, innovative men, excellent service.
Hoof tracks in the mud or snow could only mean one thing. Somewhere in the city, a moose is running loose. Moose FM is live on location.
Hey, it's Sydney Reed live on location down at Co-op on 91st Avenue, just down from Serrera's, and I am here following their new renovations for Co-op Week. They're finishing up the last of them now, and they've got some great goals coming up with these renovations. Soon they are going to have the roller grill with hot dogs and farmer sausage, roller bites, tornadoes, plus they're also going to have fresh pizza and fresh sandwiches, pasta, fruit, vegetables, cinnamon buns, and so much more. This is going to be the place to stop when you're looking for something munchy, or maybe you're looking for something fast for lunchtime, and it looks amazing in here. They've got it fresh and bright. It is not your typical gas station. And speaking of your typical gas station, they also have their new cooperative coffee, which is freshly brewed and better than the normal gas station coffee. So definitely stop by. It's Sydney Reed live on location at Co-op with Moose FM. You're at home here.
All V Stitch. Professional, fast, sewing and knitting services now open for full alteration on absolutely everything. All V Stitch. Open Monday to Friday, 10 to 5 with no appointments necessary. If it needs stitching at all, see All V Stitch. Now open on 104th Avenue next to Marlin Travel.
Ryerson Contracting, proud to be a sponsor of local sports. Ryerson Contracting, specialists in pipeline and facility construction, turnarounds, and maintenance. Let Ryerson Contracting's combination of quality personnel and equipment complete your next job with safety and integrity. Call 785-0515.
Now, a Sports Boosters update.
Looking to curl? Junior Curling is an after-school event for ages 9 to 16 starting October 22nd at 3:30 till 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Come out and join Junior Curling. If you don't have a team, they'll find one for you. Wear warm clothing, stretchy pants, clean running shoes, and joining is only $125 plus $5 rental fee for brooms and sliders.
Send us your sports info, sports@moosefm.ca, or by fax, 263-9749. Sports Boosters on Moose FM.
Win your way in to see Gord Bamford's Honky Tonka Dive Bar Tour. Text the code phrase Dive Bar to 250-800-2360.
Our community first. This is Trev Talks with your host, Trevor Bolin.
Welcome back to Trev Talks. My name is Chris Newton, your guest host for this final week, and we are going to begin our final segment with our final 4 candidates for Fort St. John City Council, starting off with Justin Jones.
Hello, Fort St. John. It's that time of year again. The weather is changing, and you need to make sure you have the proper traction to keep you on the right path and brave any storm. I hope you didn't think I was talking about changing your tires. My name is Justin Jones, and I am one of your City Council candidates for the 2018 municipal election. Our current council has paved the way and laid a great foundation for which our city can continue to grow. But in order to grow as a community, we need to welcome change. Fort St. John City Council has remained relatively unchanged over the past 13 years. Including our mayor, 6 of the 7 incumbents have served 2 or more terms. Do we need to wipe the slate clean and start over? No. But in order to pass new ideas and bring change to our community, we need to start by voting in new candidates. I decided to run to bring a fresh new perspective and to get new ideas rolling in council chambers. It is also important that we have representation on council that represents what Fort St. John is, a young, working community. I am 28 years old with a young, active family, and when I'm not working, I want to enjoy what my community has to offer. I've been fortunate enough to live in multiple communities before settling in Fort St. John, and I believe this gives me a unique perspective on how we compare. I believe our big focus needs to be for our youth and our young professionals. This will help attract more people that will want to move to and stay in Fort St. John. Attracting new business, giving a facelift to our downtown core, and attracting more events like the 2020 BC Winter Games will all be things that I will push for. When elected, I promise to listen to what our community wants and what they believe will make Fort St. John a better place to live. You can reach out to me via Facebook at Justin Jones FSJ or Justin Jones, Fort St. John City Council candidate. Let's get some traction and stay on the right path. Remember to vote for change and vote for Justin Jones on October 20th.
Hi, I'm Gord Clausen, and I'm running for a 3rd term on City Council. This is where I grew up, where I went to school, got my first job, met and married my wife Sharon, and this is where we raised our 3 children. This is our home. I've served this community as a pastor, volunteer firefighter, and support worker in our schools until I was elected to our school board, where I served for 6 years. More recently, I was executive director of the Fort St. John Hospital Foundation. During my 2 terms on council, we've seen incredible enhancements to our community, including a new hospital, new fire hall, skate park, and spray park. We've cleaned up our downtown, we've paved more streets, constructed new sidewalks, and expanded our trail system. We have new housing developments, and we've extended our city boundaries. We've added curbside recycling, and we've increased our support to nonprofits. All this and more while actually lowering our tax rates. Over the next 4 years, I will continue to promote investment and economic development, guided by strategic planning and policies, ensuring the council listens to you and has a balanced and well-informed perspective before we spend your tax dollars. I will continue to advocate for appropriate levels of police, fire, ambulance, and health care, along with more affordable housing and seniors housing. I will do all that I can to promote accessibility and diversity so that we're truly a community where we all feel like we are welcome and wanted. I look forward to more partnerships with individuals, businesses, and nonprofits, bringing together our energy, our experience, and our expertise for the benefit of the entire community. I've had the privilege of serving you for 7 years at City Council to make this a better community for each one of us. A community that is safe, healthy, vibrant, and diverse. And I'm prepared and excited to use my leadership experience to carry on work on your behalf. That's why I'm asking you this election to vote for me, Gord Clausen, Fort St. John City Council. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Byron Stewart. I grew up here in Fort St. John, and I am proud to have had the opportunity to serve our community on council since 2011. And I would like the opportunity to continue to represent the residents of the city of Fort St. John. Making our city a better place to live, work, and play takes hard work and commitment. This is work I wake up every day excited to do, and I hope you will continue to allow me to represent you, the citizens of Fort St. John. If re-elected, I look forward to continuing the vision and plans for the future of our community. It is time to actively build our community. We need to activate our plans. The City of Fort St. John's official community plan was adopted in August. This policy document is the community's vision for the next 5 to 10 years. Incorporated within this vision document are the plans for the future of our community. We need to activate these plans. We need to put shovels into dirt. We need to build for tomorrow. The time is now to shape and build our community with a renewed vision that will benefit our community and residents for the next 40 to 60 years. The work needs to be done now on our downtown infrastructure, our police detachment, our parks, our roads, our sidewalks, the vacant lots, educational, recreational, and leisure facilities. We need to build for tomorrow. We need to continue to communicate, collaborate, and celebrate. It is important that we as a council continue collaborating and communicating with the residents and business owners of our community, our regional partners and neighbors, and all levels of government. With the announcement today of the largest investment in Canadian history, we also must remember to celebrate the fact that we have a bright future ahead of us. I am passionate about our community, and I will continue my dedication in making this city a strong, vibrant community that meets the needs of all residents. For more information about me, visit voteforbyronstewart.com. On October 20th, please vote.
I am Tony Zabinski, and I am running for City Council. I decided to run for City Council because I believe in the potential our city has. Spending over 20 plus years in the city, I have a strong insight to the amazing opportunities that surrounds this community. I recently retired from the bank, and I want to spend more time towards something I'm passionate about, this community. I have a strong, diverse background in the financial sector, in addition to my leadership roles through various organizations and nonprofit organizations, such as the Fort St. John Chamber of Commerce, North Peace Senior Housing Society, and Northern Lights Foundation. I've worked with a vast array of different industries in Fort St. John, and I understand the importance of working alongside with people, businesses, and industries in this community. I know what it takes to get things done. I will focus on 3 key items if elected: municipal financial discipline, economic development, and municipal transparency and community consultation. Financial discipline means we need to ensure the city has a fiscal responsibility to our citizens. We need to review our spending and look at various avenues to increase our revenue stream while keeping our tax base low. Economic development means we need to allow business to flourish and grow, as they will stimulate jobs and will enrich our community. We want to be ready to grow with Canada LNG and ensure we have the proper plans and strategies to capitalize on them. Municipal transparency and community consultation is exactly what it means. We need to be more open with you, the public, and business to better understand your concerns and have any solutions that you may bring. We need to ensure that the people of Fort St. John and the city are on the same page in order to achieve sustainable, smart growth. You can reach out to me via email at tony@zabinski.ca or at Facebook, Tony Zabinski for Fort St. John City Council, or call me direct at 250-224-1705. I'm always willing to discuss any topics you have and any concerns you have. Remember, when you go to vote, vote for the councillor at the bottom of the ballot, Tony Zabinski. I'm all about the bottom line. Thanks again. Remember to vote. New face, new voice, Tony Zabinski.
And there we have it. Those are your 12 candidates for Fort St. John City Council in this year's municipal election. Don't forget to make sure you get out and vote. Make sure your voice is heard. Voting can be done tomorrow, 8 a.m., 8 p.m., Fort St. John Legion. That's also where you can vote for your School District 60 candidates in the city of Fort St. John. If you would like a list of the polling stations for School District 60, if you live in the rural areas, head to www.prn.bc.ca. That's School District 60's website. If you live in Taylor, districtoftaylor.com has got your polling information there. Thanks so much for tuning in to Trev Talks. It's been an absolute treat to be your guest host these past 5 weeks. Your regular host, Trevor Bullen, will be returning to Trev Talks next Friday at 10 a.m. Thanks again for tuning in, and make sure, once again, get out and vote. Have a good one.
You've been listening to Trev Talks, a weekly talk show about Fort St. John and the North Peace.